Hello, we're live. We're doing things just a little different today. No start screen, we're just gonna jump straight in. Because I'm on a little bit of a time crunch. I'm gonna give people a few minutes to jump in while I finish advertising my stream. But I just remembered it is Sonic's birth month. So we're gonna do something a little fun. And we're gonna start a little small with it too, just because these are gonna be pretty fast to get through. As the Genesis era of Sonic was also the smallest. I'm gonna give it a few minutes, give people time to pile in. And then we're going to explain things, and we're gonna go from there. Sonk Hagonk Muzonk. Exactly. I also like talking about video game soundtracks a lot. I'm gonna give it a little bit. I'm gonna wait a couple more minutes. I'm gonna wait until roughly the 2-minute 30 mark, and then we're gonna start. I hope you guys are well today. I'm on just a little bit. Can't stick around attentively, but you'll be super to catch the VOD for what you missed lurking. Valid. I love talking about video game music. But we are... I'm on a time crunch. Got dinner reservations for my brother's birthday, because today is my brother's birthday. So we're gonna try and get through at least the Genesis era tracks as fast as possible. We are now 2.5 minutes in, so we're gonna start. Hi everybody, what's up? Dakota here. Obviously, it's my channel. We are... Well, first, I'm going to move the chat box so it's a little easier to see things. Happy birthday. Sonic's... I will tell my brother you said that. But today, we are going to be ranking the Genesis era Sonic soundtracks. I have to be very careful going through Sonic 1 because a lot of them are copyrighted. Like, actually copyrighted. I upload this to YouTube. Yeah. I mean, I'm not worried about it because I'm not monetized on YouTube. It's fine. But we are ranking the Sonic tracks. What this entails is I've got it laid out here. We've got S tier. These are the best of the best. We got A tier. These are the songs that are basically universally agreed upon being good. B is, they're kind of vibey. C is middle of the road, D is it's kind of bland, and E is the worst of the worst. So we're going to start out with Sonic 1. Obviously, the very first Sonic game. That was... It's the title. It's... basically as middle of the road as you get because it's as iconic as it can be. It's also very short. The best part about the Sonic soundtracks and why it's going to be pretty fast going through at least the Genesis era tracks is a lot of them are very ringtone-y and loop pretty quickly. But title screen, you know, it's generic Sonic. The very first Sonic song you're ever exposed to. It gets its point across. It's the title screen. I think C is probably the best place it can go. Moving right along to Green Hill. And you know, the very first Sonic stage you're ever exposed to. Yeah, it's It's Sonic. It's very Sonic. It screams Sonic. However, it's remixed to hell and back, and I'm very tired of listening to Green Hill. But such is the nature of Sonic. So I will be kind because of how iconic it is. I'm gonna put Green Hill in B, because despite it being remixed to hell and back and it being as generic Sonic as you get, it's still a vibe. It's still a vibe. I like it a lot. It's good. Moving right along to Marble Zone. A lot of people don't like Marble Zone because its layout is slow and methodical. But I think this song slaps, and I like the aesthetic. And since we're going off of my opinion, I think there's only really one place that Marble Zone can go. It's not going in S tier. Though this breakdown's really good. But Marble Zone is going in A. It's an absolute jam. I love Marble Zone. I can listen to it probably on loop for like an hour before I get sick of it. Pressing on to Spring Yard Zone. I fucking love Spring Yard Zone songs so much. Like, listen to this and tell me it's not peak Sonic music. You can, but you'd be lying. You can tell me it's not peak Sonic. You would be lying. Spring Yard is S tier. Try to convince me otherwise, you can't. Pressing on, we have Labyrinth Zone. The fuel of many childhood nightmares. But it's bouncy. I remember Labyrinth Zone being one of the ones that does get copyrighted. So for the ones that can get copyrighted, I'm going to try to only limit it to 30 seconds or so, because that's generally the limit. But Labyrinth Zone, pretty good, very bouncy. Childhood nightmares be damned, it's a jam. It's a jam. You can't deny it. It's good. It's bouncy. It's how do I describe it? It conveys the feeling as generally well as a Sega Genesis can that it is an underwater ruin. Moving on, we got Starlight Zone. And you know, I like it. It's nice. It's peaceful. It's Zeke-core is the best way I can describe it. But since this isn't Zeke's ranking, because Zeke isn't a real person, Zeke is a funny little character of mine. Oh, we're going off of mine. I don't like Starlight that much. It's I'm a sucker for music box music, and it does sound like a music box song. However, it's like, I don't get a feeling of speed from it. It's one of the slowest Sonic songs, at least in the Genesis era, and not gonna lie, it's a little dull. I'm probably upsetting a lot of people when I say that, but it's kind of dull. And next up we got Scrap Brain. And I want to note we're not going through every Genesis game, we're right now doing the mainline ones, and then we'll do the spin-offs at another point in time. I'm going to try to stream these as frequently as I can. Now, Scrap Brain is neat. I like it a lot. It's pretty good. It does have that feeling of impending doom that you're supposed to get from a final level. It's good. I think Scrap Brain's neat. Excuse me. I'm gonna put it in B. I think it's a vibe. And it certainly is a vibe. It's that vibe of impending doom. Next up, we've got the final zone. I'm going to be honest with you. I think that's all we need to listen to. It is grating. It is irritating. This is one of the worst bosses in Sonic history. It's bad. It's going in E. I don't like it at all. Next up, special stage. And once again, it's kind of my same thoughts with Starlight Zone. It's slow. It's almost like a music box, and I don't exactly get Sonic from this. So with that said, special stage is kind of going in the same area as Starlight Zone. It's kind of dull. Ending. It's that good old title card reprise kind of vibe. So that said, yeah, it's okay, I guess. And now, the boss theme of Sonic 1. That isn't the final boss. I'm gonna be honest, it's one of Eggman's weakest themes. It's okay, it gets the point across. But, like, it's one of the weakest Eggman boss themes. It's not the weakest. We'll see that in Sonic 4 when we get to that. Excuse me, when we get to that. But, yeah. It's okay, I guess. A lot of these are just kind of small jingles. So they'll probably either go between It's Okay, I guess, or It's Kinda Dull. That said, Act Clear, you know, it gets its point across. It's the very early congratulations, you did it kind of vibe. So it's okay, I guess. I love what people do with this little jingle. I love what people do with this jingle. It's so funny. It's so good. In fact, it's so funny, it's going in top tier. Just kidding. I'm gonna put it in a vibe. It's... The funny thing about Continue is it does feel like it's Continue or else, but I think in Sonic 1 it's probably at its weakest. I think the Genesis era Continue tracks are kind of dull, for the most part. I don't remember a lot of them. And then we get Invincibility. I don't feel invincible listening to this, but, you know, it's okay. It's ultimately just kind of dull. It doesn't feel invincible, but it's a catchy jingle. Another one I love that people have done things with. I love it. I love it. I love it. And then, the credits. Now this is like a general reprise. Like, as you're listening to it, there's some original pieces, but then it goes through a melody of your adventure. Like, here's Green Hill. And I love, honestly, when credits do this. I love when credits just play a medley of your adventure. It's a good feeling. Fun fact, Labyrinth Zone was supposed to be the original second level, and not Marble Zone, which is why Labyrinth Zone is played here. I'm not gonna let the entire thing play out because, again, I'm a little pressed for time, but it's good. I genuinely think, I genuinely love it when games do that. When it's a medley of your adventure for the credits, or some kind of trip down memory lane. So that's it. We are done with Sonic 1. S tier goes to Spring Yard. It's so bouncy. It, to me, captures the essence of Sonic 1. Absolute Jam tier. We got Marble Zone, Labyrinth Zone, and the credits theme. A vibe, we have Green Hill, Scrap Brain, Game Over, and Drowning. It's okay, I guess. We have Title, Ending, Boss, and Act Clear. It's kinda dull. We got Starlight Special Stage, Continue, Invincible. And terrible, we have Final Zone. That said, same rules apply. We are moving on to Sonic 2. I didn't manage... Hang on. I'm being texted. One moment. Booey. Alright. Now we get to move on to Sonic 2. Same rules apply, except I couldn't find a tier list that looks almost exactly like this one for Sonic 2, so we have this. Alright, title theme. It's dull. It's just Sonic 1's title jingle, but a little more. Which I guess, in all fairness, is... Sonic 2 is literally, just Sonic 1, but more. I don't know. I feel like they could have done a little better, because it's mostly the same, except they add, like, a little twinkle to the end of it. Emerald Hill, which is just another name for Green Hill. They did it all the way back in 1992. I actually love the energy of Emerald Hill a lot more than the energy of Green Hill. It's bouncy, it's fast-paced, it's not generic. You don't see a lot of remixes of Emerald Hill. And I think that's a crime. I think people should remix Emerald Hill more. It's an absolute jam. Chemical Plant. I do love the energy of Chemical Plant. This is just another one of those levels that I'm kind of tired of seeing. Like most of the Sonic fanbase. But its music is always catchy, genuinely. I genuinely mean that. And like Sonic track genuinely captures that feeling of Sonic. They're fast, they're energetic, they're fun. Chemical Plant is also an absolute jam. Moving right along to Aquatic Ruin. It's fun. And this is the very first Sonic level that's a water level that you can avoid the water. So it definitely gets points for that. Wrong list. Aquatic Ruin. It's a vibe. I don't jive with it entirely, but like it does what it needs to do. I enjoy listening to it when it comes on, but it's not exactly my taste, but it's just good enough to keep it out of It's Okay, I guess. Casino Night. The theme of Las Vegas. Bum, bum, bum. Bum, ba, da, 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 da. Like, a lot of these I literally can't help but sing along to. It's a little bit of a stim. I have a lot of nostalgia for the classic Sonic games. Mostly Sonic 1, because I played that on the Genesis. I wouldn't play Sonic 2 until Mega Collection on the GameCube. But I also have a lot of nostalgia for the classic Sonic games through Mega Collection on the GameCube. Because this is what I grew up playing. This is what I grew up listening to. And it's so fun. That's I keep doing that. uh, Casino Night is a vibe. Probably honestly more of a vibe than you know what? I'm actually just gonna bump you down to It's Okay, I guess. Because the more I think about it, Aquatic Ruin is kind of one of the weaker stage songs from Sonic 2, and Casino Night's just a vibe. It's the essence of a vibe. Oh, I love how I say Aquatic Ruin is one of the weakest songs in Sonic 2, and next up we have Hilltop Zone. The prototype version of this song. Hi Issa, welcome to chat. We're listening to Sonic music, and I'm gushing about how much I love Sonic music. Like, it's still a fun song. Genuinely, Hilltop is a fun song. But it's just kind of not memorable. It's okay. It's not bad. It's just not good. But the prototype version of it, hang on, I'm gonna see if I can find it on YouTube real quick. I think this is it. No, that's not it. It's Silva Gunner. That's also not the one I'm thinking of. Where is it? Or is it this one? I guess it is the one I'm thinking of. I don't remember. But it's not good, is my point. It sounds like a drunk person, man. Next up is Mystic Cave. Fucking Inspector Gadget looking ass. Baseline. It's not even a spooky level, but it's such a spooky vibe, and I love it. It's so fun. Mystic Cave is so... It's so... everyone remembers the pit. But honestly, to me, the pit was terrible because you only listened to the Supersonic song with it. But, Mystic Cave Zone is fun. It's got that funny Inspector Gadget opening, and it's like you're in a haunted level despite Mystic Cave not being a haunted level. I love it. Oil Ocean. So, fun fact about Oil Ocean. For some reason, a lot of Sonic 2 music was used in porn. It's wild to think about. And this is one of the songs. Now, I hate playing Oil Ocean, but its song is pretty fun. I do like its song a lot. But because of how terrible the level itself is, it's only gonna get in. It's okay, I guess. Speaking of Sonic 2 music that was used in a lot of porn, Metropolis Zone. But it's such a fun track, though. Despite all the nightmare fuel in this level, it's a fun song. It's genuinely a fun song. Now, the issue with Metropolis Zone is it has what the Sonic fanbase affectionately calls the Unholy Trinity. You've got slicers who throw their things, and it feels like they have predictive aim, because you're always getting hit by them. You think of a lot of music and how good it is for dance choreography, and a lot of Sonic soundtracks are really good for that. It is! It's so good for dance choreography. Genuinely, every time a Sonic song comes on, even the kind of not so good ones, I genuinely just kind of can't help but bob my head a little bit. But the Unholy Trinity, it's slicers with their predictive aim. It's, not crab meats. What are they called? I don't remember what they're called, but they're kind of like crab meats. They have wonky-ass hitboxes. And then you have, Astrons. I think they're called Astrons. Something like that. The funny star enemies. That hide in the walls, you can't break them, and they always find a way to hit you in the worst possible way. But it's still a vibe. Sky Chase. I have thoughts about Sky Chase. It doesn't feel like a chase in the sky. This is arguably one of the weakest stage songs in Sonic 2. Because of it. It's a good song. It gives music box vibes, and I do like music boxes. But it doesn't, it's not fast. This is so anti-Sonic, anti-chase. And for that, unfortunately, I gotta put it in, it's kinda dull. And, a little bit of those thoughts also kinda carry on into Wing Fortress. Now, it does capture the vibes of a fortress, with that, like, militant drum beat in the background. A lot of it that they have good rhythm, but variation in melody. Yeah, exactly. And honestly, I hold a lot of the same opinions to Wing Fortress as I do Sky Chase. Both of these are weirdly slow compared to the others. It throws the vibe off. Exactly. I do like Wing Fortress a lot more than Sky Chase, because it at least captures the vibe of its stage. It's slow, it's anti-Sonic, but the song feels like a fortress. And next up, we've got Death Egg Zone. The Star Wars ripoff. The Death Egg instead of the Death Star. I don't like it. It at least feels fast. It feels impending doom-y. But if I had to listen to this for an entire stage, I would not be thrilled. It's grating. It's terrible. I don't like it. Next up, Boss. Feels meh to you? I feel like the instruments aren't in sync even if they are. Yeah. Yes! The boss theme in Sonic 2 is so good. It's such a huge glow up from Sonic 1's boss theme. It's got that goofy vibe, but it also feels like slightly menacing in a sense. It feels robotic. And I think that is the important part to understand, is it feels very Robotnik. It is an absolute jam. Next up, we've got Death Egg Robot. Death Egg Robot gets such a glow up in Sonic Generations. But ultimately, like, okay. So I feel like I understand the vibe it's going for, but the Genesis sound chip doesn't suit it, if that makes sense. It feels like you want to be intimidated by it, but because it's the Genesis sound chip, it's not that intimidating. It's okay, I guess. Like, it's still a good song, the instruments just aren't it. It's a good melody. I get the vibe they're going for, the instruments aren't it. Special stage. The first special stage that feels like a Sonic special stage. It's fun. It's bouncy. It feels like a special stage. It is a vibe. Next up, Supersonic. You're valid, Issa. I appreciate you tuning in. And I'm gonna be honest. I don't like this. I think it is the weakest Supersonic theme because it is a 22-second loop. It is terrible. It's still better than Death Egg Zone. But it's just, that ain't it. It's too short a loop. Next up, Invincibility. It's the Sonic 1 invincibility theme, but they add more drums to it. So, in the same vein of me putting the Sonic 2 title card in there, invincibility also goes in there. Because again, it's just the one from Sonic 1, but only touched up a little bit. They could have done more, and they didn't. Options. It's a very short loop, but it's kind of nice. It's okay, I guess. And now we get to the repurposed scrapped level songs, which are, they were originally going to be in levels that were meant to be included in Sonic 2, but due to time constraints, those levels got scrapped and the songs got repurposed to multiplayer levels. This is Sonic 3. We aren't there yet. Starting with Emerald Hill 2-player. This was supposed to be for Wood Zone, which was kind of like a past version of Metropolis Zone. And you know, it's kind of nice. It's not very fast, but it still kind of feels Sonic a little bit, if you know what I mean. Like, this is a comfortable pace. It's a comfortable pace. I like it. It's a vibe. Next up, we've got Mystic Cave 2-player, which I believe is the scrapped song for Dust Hill Zone. Dusty Desert, one of those two names. Also, I believe it was the scrap song for Rock Zone. I believe they were torn between Rock Zone and Dusty Hill. It's nice. I like it. But honestly, personally, I probably would have used this for Mystic Cave. It feels a little more Mystic Cave-y. And I would have used what came in for Mystic Cave as a stand-in for the other scrapped level, Genocide City. But it's very nice. It's a vibe. I like it a lot. Speaking of, we are now moving on to Casino Night 2-player, which is the scrapped song for Genocide City. But there was also another version of Casino Night that was scrapped. We almost wound up with 2 Casino Nights. It's okay. I don't like it very much. It's a little grating. Not nearly as grating as Death Egg was, but it's okay. It's okay. I'm sorry for those stuck in ad jail that missed it. Check the VOD later. It's okay, I guess. The results screen. I am once again doing that. Why am I doing that? I actually unironically love this song. It's so good. It's fun. And it feels very triumphant, too. It feels like results. So, yeah, that's a vibe. That's a vibe. Once again, we have the credits, which, just like Sonic 1, is a medley of your adventure. A little bit. And the original jingle's a lot more fun than I think the Sonic 1 one was. I don't know why it starts with Metropolis Zone, but you know. There's Emerald Hill. So, if you missed it for the Sonic 1 one, I love when end credits songs do a medley of your adventure. I put it in Absolute Jam, and that still holds true for Sonic 2. The credits, the medley, Absolute Jam. And now we get to an unused song that still made it into the game's sound test, but is not played anywhere else besides the sound test. But is also in a level that was originally scrapped and then re-added in the mobile port of Sonic 2, which the mobile port made its way eventually to the 3DS version of Sonic 2 and the Sonic Origins version of Sonic 2, and that is Hidden Palace Zone. And this doesn't feel... The vibe is off. Like, on one hand, I get the vibe. It's a new, undiscovered place that feels like some ancient dug-up ruins, kind of. But it also feels like a bad ending kind of song. And the loop is also very short. So it's kind of dull, honestly. And this is our Sonic 2 tier list. In top tier, we have Mystic Cave Zone. In Absolute Jam, we have Emerald Hill, Chemical Plant, The Boss, the Special Stage, and the credits. In a Vibe, we have Casino Night. We have Metropolis, Emerald Hill 2-player, Mystic Cave 2-player, and results. And It's Okay, I guess, we have Aquatic Ruin, Hilltop, Oil Ocean, Death Egg Robot, Options, and Casino Night 2-player. And It's Kinda Dull, we have Wing Fortress, Title, Invincible, Sky Chase, and Hidden Palace. And in It's Terrible, we have Supersonic and Death Egg Zone. We are now moving on to Sonic 3 and Knuckles, the biggest soundtrack and the wildest story soundtrack, because holy shit. So Michael Jackson actually helped with the soundtrack of Sonic 3 and Knuckles, but he goes uncredited because of, you know, the controversy. Starting up, we've got the title screen. And this is what plays in just Sonic 3 by itself. I believe Sonic 3 and Knuckles adopts the Sonic and Knuckles version. But I like it. It is a vibe. It's unique. It's not like Sonic 1 and 2's. It's original. And that's good. Next, we have File Select. The very first Sonic game with a save setting. And it's a fun little vibe. I gotta be honest, I actually kind of like the instrumental because it feels like... It feels vacation-y. Like you would typically feel on an island, which is where Sonic 3 and Knuckles predominantly takes place, is on Angel Island. It's fun. I like it. It's a vibe. And Sonic 3 and Knuckles is also the first game in the franchise to have different songs for each act for a zone. Starting with Angel Island. It's fun. Ba-da-da-da-da-da. Ba-da-da-da-da. Update, apparently I was going to not be here because Twitch immediately killed itself, but anyways, you're back. You like this one? Welcome back! Yeah, Twitch is having a little bit of issues, I guess. I don't know. I've noticed I've consistently started dropping more frames since I switched to OBS, but it's fine. I'm probably just gonna set it to what I used on XSplit, which was 2,000 kilobytes a second, instead of what I have now at 3,000. But yeah, I like Angel Island Act 1. It's nice. It's a vibe, is what it is. It's like... it's the epitome of a vibe. I have a feeling a lot of Sonic 3 and Knuckles is gonna end up in a vibe. Angel Island Act 2. The whole island's on fire! And I think it captures that kind of vibe well. Like, the island is on fire. It's being destroyed by fire. It's a nice little attention to detail. It's good. It's a vibe. Alright, now it's time for me to... Twitch is glitchy as hell for me most of the time because I refuse to get new devices unless my old ones are unusable, and Twitch is not happy that I use it on an iPhone 6. Ah, I see. Well, your first mistake was using an Apple product. I'm kidding. Use whatever you want. I don't care. I'm an Android user. I will always be an Android user. I'm probably eventually gonna have to get an Apple device for tracking. If you know, you know. But now it's time for me to get into some controversial opinions with Hydro City. It's Hydro City, not Hydrocity. I'm actually gonna close these other YouTubes so I stop going to them and kinda have a better sense of where I am. I like Hydro City Act 1 more than Act 2. That's the controversial opinion. I like the song for Hydro City Act 1 a lot more. Why do I keep pausing it? We can listen to it longer. I genuinely like Act 1 a lot more than Act 2. It's an absolute jam. You got it when you were an actual child. I'm gonna switch to Android when this stops working, but as previously stated, you don't- yeah, no, that's valid. You are so valid. And now for Hydro City Act 2. Now, Act 2 is still good. I just like Act 1 a lot more. It's still fun, it's still bouncy. This is arguably one of the best water levels in Sonic history. But Hydro City Act 2 is pretty good. It's a vibe. And now, Marble Garden. It's a bit meta, but it's okay, valid. I love Marble Garden so much. Not even for its, like, music, just this was the stage I was attached to as a kid. And even replaying it as an adult, I'm like, I love this level. It's a vibe. It feels like you're going through moss-infested ruins, and that's the best part of it. And I think the vibes stick around with Act 2. Well, okay, actually, I have to admit, Act 2's song is a little weaker than Act 1's. It's still a vibe, but it's like, I don't know, the instruments feel a little off. Well, namely the, like, one at the forefront. That one. It's okay. It's okay. Carnival Night. Original zone name. Do not steal. I don't know if Dove is still here, but this gives me huge Soleil vibes. And it's the carnival thing. It's absolutely the carnival thing. And there's still like a little bit of sinister undertone to it because this carnival was not here originally. Eggman built this. Unless Knuckles, for some reason, just has a carnival on Angel Island that nobody can go to. It's fun. I like it. It's very fun. It's a vibe. And then we move on to Act 2. Now, I know what you're thinking. What's the difference? There's actually a lot less percussion in Act 2. And sometimes the, like, forefront instrument, the do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do, doesn't do its thing. And that's because in Act 2, Carnival Night loses power. Knuckles flicks the off switch. There it is. There's the difference between Act 1 and Act 2. What it reminded you of was your own Minecraft OC. Interesting. Next up we have Ice Cap. I love Ice Cap. It's fun. It feels like you're it feels like a snowy mountain. A little bit. Keeping an eye on my phone too as we're going through this because they're gonna let me know when we're leaving for our dinner reservations. Ice Cap Act 1. I keep pausing it, it's a habit. I love it, it's a vibe, but it's also like, as much as I personally hate the cold, I am attracted to cold levels. Not in the weird sense. But, Ice Cap, Act 1, easy S tier. It's pretty good. And now we move on to Act 2. got a strong open. But then it does the thing that Carnival Night Act 2 does and gets rid of some percussion, and it makes it lose a little bit of value, loses a little bit of steam. And for that reason, we go from one of the best songs in the game to just one of the most average in the game. Act 2's just kind of okay. It feels too similar to Act 1, but it's missing some very important elements that made Act 1 great. It does have a really strong opening, though, which does make it better than Marble Garden Act 2. Next up, Launch Base. I actually really like Launch Base. It's fun. It's bouncy. I can't describe it, really, but, like, you know, it's a vibe. Pressing on, we get Launch Base Act 2, which is literally just a slightly faster version of Launch Base Act 1, which makes it honestly all the better. But again, it does the same thing that Ice Cap and Carnival Night does, and removes some instruments. So it's okay. Sonic 1 and Sonic 3 and Knuckles also does the thing where it splits up the boss music depending on the act. Because you get an Act 1 boss and an Act 2 boss. But if you're playing Sonic 3 and Knuckles, you won't hear this. How to tell Michael Jackson helped with your soundtrack. It's funky. It is cool. It's got those vibes, you know? It's an absolute jam. Then we move on to Act 2 boss. It carries that tradition that started in Sonic 2, where the boss theme is just like, it's lighthearted, but it's just menacing enough that it captures the vibe of Robotnik. And that is important in a boss theme. It is a vibe. Also, we're technically going through 6 games, but canonically, Sonic 3 and Sonic & Knuckles are the same game. So, take that. Bonus stage Gumball. The essence of my Ordum character Liz. And also my D&D character, Goo. I love the gumball. It is a vibe. Next up, Slot Machine. I don't get Slot Machine vibes from this. I get maybe pinball machine vibes from this. It's okay, I guess. It's honestly a little dull, not gonna lie. Next up we got Global. This one's fun. This is the pinball minigame. You got these fun little glow balls that you just rotate around and launch yourself from. It's neat. The song is a little lacking, though. It's kinda dull. And now for Blue Sphere, the special stage of Sonic 3 and Knuckles. I love Blue Sphere so much. I genuinely... Okay, so how you access Blue Sphere is you find these big rings in the stages. But here's a fun fact for you. If you take any other Genesis cart and put it into the And Knuckles cartridge, because they had lock-on technology, you would put Sonic 3 in your cartridge of Sonic and Knuckles into your Sega Genesis. It was really ahead of its time and actually kind of cool. If you put any cartridge in And Knuckles, besides Sonic 2 and Sonic and Knuckles, you will get a random Blue Sphere stage. But if you put Sonic 1 into And Knuckles, you just get the entirety of Blue Sphere. And there's like 3 million stages in Blue Sphere. It's crazy. It's cool as hell. Next up we got Theme of Knuckles. It's kinda dull, not gonna lie. Next up, Invincibility! It's okay. It's just too short a loop. The drowning song just barely changed. Yeah, it barely changed from Sonic 1 and Sonic 2. It's kind of dull. We get the Versus Mode menu, otherwise known as Competition. And it is such a vibe. I love it. It's a vibe. Oh. Never actually got this far into the competition song. Oh, that was divine. That was divine. Bumped it up from a vibe to an absolute jam. Alright, next up, Azure Lake. The multiplayer levels. We might only get through Sonic 3 and Knuckles, actually. But that's fine. I'll put Sonic CD at the beginning of the spin-offs, because I only played 2 of the spin-offs growing up, which was Spinball and 3D Blast. So we'll do CD, Spinball, and 3D Blast next time. But anyways, I really like Azure Lake. It's fast, it's fun, it's a jam. Balloon Park. I love this so much, and it gets so much better once we get to Generations. Because this song comes back in Generations, or at least parts of it do. And I'm excited for that. This goes in top tier easily. How's the Sonic OST tier list going? It's going lovely, my love. Welcome to stream, Junie. Balloon Park is your jam? Same. I love Balloon Park. We're gonna get through, we're gonna get through Sonic 3 and Knuckles today. Because we already did Sonic 1 and Sonic 2. We're gonna have to do CD next time when I do it with Spinball and 3D Blast. 3D Blast also has 2 soundtracks, fun fact, so we're gonna do both of them too. Anyways, next up is Chrome Gadget. I don't know, honestly. Chrome Gadget's kind of boring. Not gonna lie. It's a little boring. Okay, well, it takes too long to pick up Steam. It's fine. I'll put it at the top of it's kinda dull. It's boring and it takes too long to pick up Steam, but it's, yeah. Next up, Desert Palace. I dropped 2024 frames this stream. So far, we're not done yet. I'm gonna lower it back to what I used on, XSplit. And hopefully that'll help. But, Desert Palace... It's okay. I don't really have any thoughts about it. It's just, it's fine. Yeah, it's fine. Alright, Endless Mine. This is my jam. I remember Endless Mine. It's a vibe. Now, versus mode completion results. Or competition results. Oh! I love what people do with this song. Top tier, easily. For those of you just getting out of ad jail, this one's for you. Alright, and now we get the final boss, the Big Arm. God, I can't wait to get to the Generations mix of this because it's just infinitely better. It's good. I think it's alright with the Genesis sound font. Fun fact, Sonic and Tails and Sonic 3 and Knuckles don't actually fight Big Arm. They only fight Big Arm at the end of Sonic 3. Knuckles fights Big Arm, though. It's kind of wild. Big Arm goes in, it's okay, I guess. And then we get ending. Wow, that was short and boring. Honestly, kind of terrible for it. I'm sorry. The credits song for Sonic 3, I think it also does the medley thing that the other ones did. Ooh. I've never actually listened to this. Oh, this is fun. Love you too, Beeb. Thank you for tuning in. Ooh. Ooh, get it. Ooh, get it. Alright. It does not appear to be doing the medley thing, which is fine. I just like it as a stylistic choice. But with what we got, oh, it was such a vibe. And now we move on to And Knuckles, and Knuckles, and Knuckles, and Knuckles, featuring Dante from the Devil May Cry series, Final Mix, and Knuckles. The much better title screen song, in my opinion. Much better title screen, in my opinion. This goes just before title screen. In fact, I'm actually going to move this down. I'm going to rearrange this a little bit. Just a little bit to more properly express my thoughts. I'm going to do the same with the other ones off screen. And all of these tier lists will be going up on Twitter. So don't you worry none. That's good enough for me. I'll rearrange it more once, like, later. Moving on to Mushroom Hill. Thank you, Fire Truck. It's such a vibe. It is such a vibe. Moving on to Act 2. My favorite thing about Act 2 is it changes season. Like, you're going through the stage and it starts to get more dull and autumn-like until it goes back to the vibrant colors. It's so cool. It's almost like it's changing seasons. It's cool. I like it. Moving on to Flying Battery. I love Flying Battery. It's so good. It's so fun. I love Flying Battery. I also have a lot of childhood nostalgia for it. Moving on to Act 2.
This party's getting crazy. Let's rock.
Iarisu joined the party.
Thank you for the follow, Iarisu. Welcome to the party. We're going through Sonic and Knuckles right now. To get you caught up to speed on who I am, my name is Dakota. I am presently a little Sonic guy. More to come later. Came at a good time. You love Flying Battery? Based! You did come at a good time. I also love Flying Battery. But I'm a funny little Sonic guy. Sonic is one of my comfort franchises. I also love Devil May Cry a lot. I stream inconsistently, but I stream often. And yeah, welcome. I'm glad you're here. Thank you for the follow. Anyways, Flying Battery Act 2. Why do I keep pausing? Flying Battery Act 2. I have similar feelings in regards to Flying Battery Act 1. I have a lot of nostalgia for it. It's fun. I love it a lot. Genuinely so good. Moving on to Sandopolis. The very first, second, technically first, desert level. I say technically first because Oil Ocean's technically a desert, but this is a proper desert with sand and shit. And I love the vibes of Sandopolis. It's a vibe. A very good vibe. This is probably not the final layout. Again, I'm gonna post these on Twitter, which, hey, just so you know, I also have a Twitter and a Tumblr. You should go follow me on those. Worms, what was I saying? But yeah, I love the desert levels in Sonic 3. Especially Sandopolis Act 2. The first properly haunted level in Sonic. And because of its haunted factor, it's immediately going in top tier. I am a sucker for haunted levels. I love ghosts. I love skeletons. Give me the spooky shit. Ba ba da 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 da. Sorry, I'm getting lost in the sauce. Alright, moving on. We got Lava Reef. Act 1. It's iconic, it's fun, it's bouncy, it's an absolute jam. Unfortunately, I don't have the exact same feelings for Lava Reef Act 2. This feels like, to me, they were trying again with Hidden Palace, which is appropriate because this song also plays for Hidden Palace, which is in this game. It just doesn't have its unique song. It feels more Hidden Palace than it does Lava Reef to me. But it also makes sense because Lava Reef at the beginning of Act 2 kind of becomes like cooled off. You can run on the magma, or the solidified magma, and it's got crystals everywhere, which is kinda cool. But the song just doesn't do it for me. It's gonna go on the high end of it's kinda dull. Like, Lava Reef Act 2 could be low C, high D for me. Obviously there's no Hidden Palace because this is the Hidden Palace song. Why does it say Sonic 2? Anyways, Sky Sanctuary. Sky Sanctuary gets such a glow up in Sonic Generations. But the song itself, kind of a vibe. I do actually really like Sky Sanctuary. Like, this is Sky Chase done right. It's good. I like it a lot. Such a vibe. It's... Despite the situation, it's a very comfy vibe. Moving on to Death Egg. Death Egg's back, and it's gotta grow... It grew up. Fun fact. When I found out that this song was in Sonic Generations, I actually put it over Planet Wisp Classic, and it was kind of cool. It was fun going through that level with this song. Alright. Alright, I gotta blaze through these because we're leaving in about 10 minutes for dinner reservations. Which is fine because we are almost done. So, Death Egg. Death Egg gets absolute jam. Moving on to Act 2. It's just a more clear version of Act 1, and you know what? Good for it, because it does not change my feelings about it one bit. It is still an absolute jam. And then we move on. I'm sorry to kind of blitz through these. I got 10 minutes, or just over 10 minutes. We'll listen a little more, actually, I think. It's good. I like it. Alright, Doomsday! Okay, I gotta be a little real with you guys about Doomsday. I don't like this song with the Genesis sound chip. It's okay, it's passable. The Genesis sound chip, bad. Very bad. Not good for the vibes of this song. There was, however, a remix of this song that was really, really good. Doomsday Zone from, there it is, Project Chaos. This is such a good remix. We're gonna listen to a little bit of this. So much better with actual instruments. But listening to Doomsday as it is with the Genesis sound chip, it's okay. I'd probably actually put it below Launch Base, but just above Invincibility and Desert Palace. Next up we got Act 1 Boss, the song that replaces Act 1 in Sonic 3 and Knuckles. It's just... it's okay. It's a loop. It's not nearly as fun as the Sonic 3 version, but it's still okay. So we're gonna put it in It's Okay, I guess. Next we got Theme of Knuckles. The better version of Knuckles' theme! A tier. A tier. Top of A tier. Alright, next we got Invincible. Honestly, this is also the better Invincible theme of the two games. I sometimes actually literally just hum this to myself sometimes. It's a vibe. Vibe. That's a good spot for it, I think. And then we have... oh wait, that was, what did I just put? Oh, I put ending. Oops. Oops. Speaking of ending, though. That was worse than the Sonic 3 ending noise. Terrible. And now, a quick glimpse at the credits. Wow, this is not nearly as vibey as the Sonic 3 version. Oh, but it does do the medley thing! Oh, that's so cool. Alright, we're gonna put you in, It's a Vibe. We're gonna bump, actually, Sonic 3's credits up to Absolute Jam, because I did like it a lot. And, this is where we're gonna call stream. In top tier for Sonic 3 and Knuckles, we have Balloon Park, Versus Mode Results, Sandopolis Act 2, Flying Batteries Act 1 and 2, and Ice Cap Act 1. In Absolute Jam, we have the and Knuckles theme of Knuckles, Hydro City Act 1, Act 1 Boss from Sonic 3, Versus Mode Menu, Azure Lake, Lava Reef Act 1, Death Egg Act 1 and 2, and the Sonic 3 credits. In a Vibe, we have Sandopolis Act 1, Special Stage, Carnival Night Act 1, Hydro City Act 2, Gumball, Mushroom Hill Act 1 and 2, Angel Island Act 1 and 2, Marble Garden Act 1, Launch Base Act 1, File Select, Act 2 Boss, Carnival Night Act 2, Title Screen of Knuckles, Endless Mine, Invincibility, Title Screen, Sky Sanctuary, and credits of Knuckles. In It's Okay, I guess, we have Big Arms, Ice Cap Act 2, Marble Garden Act 2, Launch Base Act 2, Doomsday Zone, Act 1 boss and Knuckles, Invincibility and Desert Palace. And It's Kinda Dull, we have Lava Reef Act 2, Chrome Gadget, Slot Machine, Glow Ball, theme and Knuckles theme and from Sonic 3, and Drowning. And in Terrible, we have both of the ending songs. Speaking of ending, I have to end stream now, because I got stuff to do. I hope my information's saved. It looked like it did. Okay. So, yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you enjoyed what you saw and you're watching this on YouTube, please be sure to like, comment, share, favorite, subscribe, all that jazz. Follow me on Twitch if you weren't already. I also have a Twitter and a Tumblr. And until next time, ladies and gentlemen, and all matter of species between, peace out.